Hi friends, and welcome to another edition of New Start Now. We have in our studio with us today Carol Higgins, all the way from Africa, and I'd like to show you a clip when she first arrived here at the New Start program.
Well, I had a friend that was here a couple months ago, and he and I have been trying to lose weight together for many, many years. I have some arthritis and some digestive issues, low blood sugar problems, so I just don't want to go into being a diabetic. The nutritionist tells me I need to lose about 70 pounds, and I'm hoping to gain a better understanding of how to eat properly. Yeah. 66 years has gotten me this body. I don't want to finish out my life with this body the way it is. That's kind of bottom line. I'm ready for a change.
Welcome back, friends, and in our studio, Carol, how are you, dear? Good to see you.
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, now I want to get right into this interview because I know you shared with us before we went on the air here that you've gone through some incredible changes. Can you speak to us about that?
Well, if I can get over these tears, sorry. Yes, I have really experienced some change, and I was thinking today, if you could only measure attitude in milligrams or inches or something, that I've probably grown quite a few inches this week, these last 2.5 weeks, because my attitude has changed so much.
So what I'm hearing you say is that maybe you have a little hope?
I have a lot of hope, because looking at golden years, I have hope that my golden years will be happy instead of depressing.
Yeah. So what are these tears about, other than that hope? You were experiencing some good changes. Can you tell us about that?
I can. I have a vocational school in Uganda at the orphanage. And I was thinking about this because when the kids come in to us as they're hopeless because they've failed in school, and what's left for them is vocational school. And so they come in, and I try in the first week, I try to have them experience success. And at the end of the year, they are standing tall. And now I have experienced coming someplace where I felt hopeless.
Yeah.
And I'm standing tall.
Oh, God bless you.
My blood sugar's down, and my what do you call it?
Triglycerides? Cholesterol?
Cholesterol is down.
Down? Yes.
My pulse is down. And
you're up.
And I'm up. That's right.
All these things are down and you're up.
That's right. I've only lost 4 pounds, but I've lost 3 inches.
My word.
And I'm excited that I'm on a good path.
Yes.
And I want to exercise. I was not exercising at all before. And I was actually dancing down the path the other day. So it's very exciting to have energy again.
Oh,
yeah.
Praise God. You know, did Dr. Lukens tell you about the lady we had come through the program that lost 4 dress sizes and didn't lose a pound?
I like that.
Yeah. Well, you're sharing again that your body, when it gets in the condition it, quote, supposed to be in,
yeah.
the body that God gave us, then it doesn't necessarily have to lose weight, but you start shrinking.
Yeah.
That happened to me as well.
Yeah.
So what else? What else did you like about being here in the New Start program?
Well, I always thought that people that ate tofu were really weird.
Some of us are a little
weird. And now I'm eating tofu.
Oh, no.
And making it, fixing it myself.
I hope you don't think that you're getting weird on us.
I'm afraid I am.
Okay. Well, God bless you for being weird.
Yeah, if this is what weird's about, I'm okay.
Good.
Yeah.
So you see vegans and vegetarian in a whole new light.
I do, yeah. I'm excited to be able to share this with my family, and they're already asking questions. So that's what I'm hoping for, is for them to ask questions without me having to say, do this, do that. because they'll listen if they're asking questions.
Now, I introduced you as coming all the way from Africa, from Uganda, and on the screen during the first interview, it said you're from Oregon. Is that where your U.S. home is, in Oregon?
That's where we're from, and that's where our ministry is based from.
Okay. And how long have you been in Africa?
We've been there 11 years this month.
Wow. What a ministry to help these poor, underprivileged children.
It is. It's probably the toughest thing we've ever done, but the most fruitful.
Yes.
And we're opening a new cafe when I get back, and it's going to be vegan.
Right on. You'll bring something.
We're going to start it that way, so we don't have anything to change.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We'll try it. See what
Okay,
happens.
so I want to talk about the staff here because we haven't said anything about them. You've met, of course, everyone on staff, that is the New Start staff. Can you say anything about Viola, for instance, our chaplain?
She is such a dear spirit. I just love her so much, and she's gentle and listened to me and just ministered to me. Her teachings were right on for me and ministered to me.
All right.
Yeah.
And the
Commitment.
Commitment?
That's the bottom line.
What about the exercise that you learned here? Did you learn how to do some new things with your body?
I did. I didn't know I could do some of those things. Some of them I'm still working on.
Yes.
It's not working like it should. But yeah, I'm stretching and exercising, and Jerry and Rick were both fun to follow. Yeah.
Now, what was your favorite part of your stay here so far?
Sally in the kitchen, I think, has really put wings to the whole program, because without the teaching of cooking, how would we know how to do this? And the food was so wonderful.
You know, Sally's been here like 25 years, and she is the cooking school instructor, Sally Christensen. Some of you already know her, but some of you are going to meet her in the not too distant future. She's absolutely marvelous what she does in the kitchen. By the way, we have a reversing diabetes program beginning May 31. I don't know if this will broadcast by then, but Sally will be participating with Neva Brackett in the cooking lectures that will be going on there.
I bought Neva's books. I'm excited about that.
Yes, good for you.
You know what I really liked about the staff is that the doctors walked, they ate with us and talked with us. We had access to them. I've never been able to just ask a doctor just simple little stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they were accessible to us, and they loved us, and they prayed with us. That's pretty amazing.
What Carol is saying is not only true, but I want to elaborate a little bit, because usually we go to a doctor and we sign in, then the nurse calls us in, she takes our blood pressure and maybe looks in our ear or our eye or whatever, and then the doc comes in, spends 5 minutes, that's it. Well, here the doctors will eat with you because they eat with the guests every day, all 3 meals. Not necessarily do we advise 3 meals for everyone, but they're there, they make themselves available. And after your interview with the doctor, I know that they take us out, they took you out, I'm sure, walked on the trail, and what they do is that they observe, make sure that you're not hurting yourself, basically. So I think that's wonderful. I thought that was just the cat's meow.
Another thing is, I did change. The first day, I changed to only eating 2 meals a day, and I was amazed that I wasn't hungry the next morning. I was amazed.
Yes.
And I haven't eaten any meal at night, except when we went to Dr. Lucan's house that night for a fellowship. And I was hungry the next morning.
And no snacks in between, right?
No, I had no contraband.
No M&Ms.
No. No.
Well, Carol, we've run out of time. I want to thank you for being here. God bless you in your work in
Thank
Africa. And friends, thank you for joining us, but don't go away because we're going to interview Dr. Lukens in just a moment.
Well, you've done very well. Do you have diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, or do you weigh too much? Hi, my name is Dr. Ng, and I'd like to tell you about our 18-day New Start Lifestyle program. It includes a comprehensive medical evaluation with laboratory studies and an exercise stress test, physician consultations, culinary school, and an opportunity to walk on beautiful trails in the foothills of the Sierras. Your health is one of the most important things that you have. Don't wait. Give us a call at 800-525-9192 or visit our website, newstart.com.
Welcome back, friends, and as I promised, Dr. Lukens, it's always so good to see you
again. We got
and
some exciting people here, huh?
Yes, we do.
And they're excited.
And you're excited, I can tell. We're going to be talking about Carol, and I want to get into this situation of hypoglycemia. You call it something different. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's the
Reactive?
term, reactive hypoglycemia.
Tell us what that means.
Well, what's happening is that a person generally will be overweight, and one of the things that they tell them to do is eat every 2 hours. Now you can imagine what a good thing that is for your digestive system, and how easy it is to take care of your weight when you're on that, you know. But I had a cousin that had that, and what they have is they end up by doing this, but because of their being overweight, and it's kind of like pre-diabetes, frequently they go into full diabetes, and she realizes that possibility is there. The insulin goes more and more and more, and so after a while, that when they keep pouring out more and more insulin, then their pancreas is going to wear out because it's overused, and then they won't be able to keep the insulin enough so that it can help them when they're still overweight. So we come back to it again. What's the answer to diabetes? Weight loss.
Okay.
How do you get rid of it? Lose the weight. How do you lose the weight? Exercise.
Well,
So
how do you get rid of hypoglycemia?
3 to 5 miles a day, eating whole plant foods, and that's it. If it's not going down, then there's something wrong with your program. So how about this hypoglycemia thing? Reactive. It's reactive because there's so much insulin that's coming into the situation there.
How do you slow it down?
Well, you don't. Because the body's going to respond when you eat simple carbohydrates and it raises your blood sugar, your body's going to respond. It doesn't want that blood sugar to be high, because if it continues on being high and high and high, then after a while you start getting the problems that the diabetics get. And so the insulin comes surging in, and a half hour, an hour, maybe longer after you've finished your meal, your blood sugar starts going down, and it goes down, and it reaches a normal level, and then it goes down lower and lower, and pretty soon you start feeling anxious, you start feeling clammy, you start feeling jittery, and you start feeling nauseated. What is this from? It's because when our blood sugar gets too low, then adrenaline starts pouring in, because that will raise the blood sugar, and there you go, you're on this cycle. And my cousin had to quit teaching for a while because she would get sick headaches. She would actually throw up. Sometimes in front of the class, she would pass out and just fall to the floor. I mean, how can you teach a class like that? This lady is a wonderful missionary over in Uganda, and she's seen some things that you'd never even want to hear about. But she's gotten all these orphan kids, and that she's brought them in, and it's a wonderful thing. There's over 200 orphans that are, and it keeps building. But here she is. She's got all these responsibilities, all this stuff that she has to do, and she gets these reactive hypoglycemia spells. And she didn't know what to do, and they're getting worse, and things are a problem. Since she came here and is on the Whole Plant Foods Whole, she doesn't have those big sugar surges. She's only had that reaction once. And
Wonderful.
so, and she's thrilled.
Praise God.
She's thrilled about that.
Yeah, that's
Now-
thrilling.
I keep telling everybody, lose the weight and the diabetes will go away. Lose the weight, the reactive hypoglycemia will go away.
Okay, how's
So
she
the person
doing?
says, how do you do that? You know, so is she losing weight? She hasn't lost hardly any. Is she getting healthier? You bet she is. And so she's excited about that. What will happen as she continues on with this program? The weight will come off.
Yes.
And as it does, this will be a thing of the past. Also, she's complaining about, you know, the knees, the hips, and all the weight on the joints, the osteoarthritis and those kind of things. What is that from? Too much weight.
It's got to be weight.
Pushing down on those and grinding those joints. So there it goes back to that. I don't know how it is, because Africa is becoming westernized now. And I'm understanding that people over there now, see, this is 20 years since I was there. I only saw 2 heart attacks. 2 heart attacks in 15 years of practice.
Wow.
And now they say, no, they're having heart attacks over there. And people are having diabetes over there. And some of the countries are eating a lot of beef and stuff like that. And they're going to have real problems. They already have. They're starting to have that.
With regards to Carol now, you say that she needs to continue to lose weight. But I also have heard you say that she's come down a couple of sizes and not
No,
lost
I don't know that. You know, when they measure her, but her clothes are fitting a little bit better, yeah.
Yeah, she even said that to me.
Yeah.
So
And so they'll it's, you know, it's not unusual for a person to come in, and that's that, we've talked about this before, the metabolic thing, where you have the big girth and the high blood pressure, and then your blood sugars aren't under control, your cholesterol is out of control, and your triglycerides are too high. That's the 5 different things, you see. Wow. And her cholesterol when she came in was like 250 plus, and it's down 30, and that's pretty good for somebody who's overweight. Especially the women, they don't tend to lose their cholesterol and their weight as fast as the men can.
So what advice do you have for our viewers that they can practice in their own homes on a daily basis?
Well, see, what we've got is we've got people here that if she's got the pain in her joints, what is she going to do? Is she going to feel like going out there and doing all these miles? Not exactly. We have some people here that have, because of their back and their neck and so forth, they don't even feel that they can do upper arm exercises with like a 2-pound weight in each hand. And some of the things that they can do. Some people can get on a stationary bike. But as we see people do this, as they get into this kind of a dietary, it's anti-inflammatory. And those pains can go away. They can go away, start going away within a few days or weeks. And we've had people that came in with bone on bone. And they say, well, you know, there's nothing I can do about that. Yes, there is. The inflammation and the pain goes down, and then they start putting some fibrous tissue in there, and after a while, they don't have to have that joint replaced. It takes time, it takes patience, but as she can exercise, but you have to start somewhere. I told one of my patients just today, walk 50 steps, turn around, and walk 50 steps back, and then sit, relax, get up again in 15 minutes, and do that over again. We have people come in a wheelchair, on oxygen, in pain, and away they go. At the end of the program, they're walking the half-mile loop. Some of them are walking less, but they're getting started. And we know that as a person does that, in 3 months, they've done things where people can get out of assisted living for an extra 10 or 12 years. I mean, that's unheard of.
So you're saying exercise is cumulative. You don't have to walk for long periods of time necessarily, as long as you get started. Is that what you're saying?
and when you're exercising, your metabolic rate is going up, and your muscles for the next 24 hours are going to burn more sugar than they did if you're sedentary. Muscles are really happy to take sugar out of the blood. When they need it, they'll get it, and they're after it. But you know, I thought, well, I knew that the overweight diabetic was somebody that their pancreas, we've got things that'll whip it again, and make more and more insulin. That's not what they need. This lady doesn't have diabetes yet, but her insulin is surging in there, and now her life is miserable at times because she has these things. If you're nauseated, if you're just feeling terrible and anxious and your blood sugar is dropping so low that you're just shaky and sweaty, I mean, what are you going to do? That's all you can think about until that's passed.
It's like life-threatening.
Yep.
So any last words of advice?
Do this if you have reactive hypoglycemia. Come and we'll help you out.
That's wonderful.
It happens. It works.
It happens all the
short
time.
period of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for joining us, Dr. Lukens.
It's always my pleasure.
It's always good to see you.
Yeah, really good.
And thank you for joining us, folks. But don't go away. We have an important tip for you right after this.
Welcome to New Start at Home. I'm Dr. David DeRose. Today we're speaking about a problem that's very common in medical offices. It's likely that you or one of your loved ones have experienced it. The topic is frozen shoulder. And with me is Jerry Flores. Jerry is a therapist at Weimar Center of Health and Education, part of the New Start program. Jerry, do you see a lot of problems with frozen shoulder?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, that's one that comes in frequently. And we do treat it. The medical term is adhesive capsulitis. And the word adhesive means that things just are like glued there. They tighten up, they atrophy, and I'm going to give one example. For example, let's say you break your arm, you get in a cast. They cast it. 2 months later, your broken bone is healed, but you didn't use your shoulder joint at all, or very little, and then you get up to this to put on a shirt, and all of a sudden, ouch, you can't go above there, and you got excruciating pain.
Okay, so you're not, a frozen shoulder doesn't mean necessarily that they just can't move their shoulder at all. They've just got severely limited range of motion.
Yes, limited range of motion. Usually, they could go up to about 60 to 90 degrees, but they can't go up above that, the full 180 degrees, all the way up to your ear.
Okay. So Jerry, from our experience, it's very likely that many of the folks tuning in today either have some shoulder limitations or they know someone who does. What can you do to help them? What can they do at home to get some help?
Right. Well, the first thing that I like to do is it's a frozen shoulder, right? So I just like to thaw it.
Okay,
you know?
fair enough.
And
Thaw
then
out the frozen
you thaw
shoulder.
out the frozen shoulder. So you just apply some heat,
Okay.
a hot pack. You take an Epsom salt bath, which is very good. We know it relaxes muscles.
Okay.
And that helps. But then the key to helping a frozen shoulder is that you got to use a simple formula. For a comfort scale.
Okay.
What I do is I teach people how to use colors. Okay. Red, yellow, and green.
Just like a stoplight.
Just like a stoplight. Or green, yellow, and red. Green, no discomfort at all.
Keep going.
Keep going, yes. Yellow, warning, but it's still okay to go. And in this case, it would be move. And red, which means stop, too much discomfort. Okay. Therefore, you don't continue with the stretch or with the pressure. So when you got a frozen shoulder and you go up here and it's okay, it's green. But you raise it up, gets yellow, and then just a little bit more, and it gets into the red zone. That's where people don't know what to do. That's when we apply the heat, and then just stretch it out a little bit more. And if you like, we could demonstrate a little bit on you.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to take Dr. DeRose's shoulder, and let's say it was frozen, and you tell me, I'm going to raise it up, and you tell me as soon as it feels uncomfortable.
Am I supposed to make believe I got a bad shoulder?
Yes.
Okay,
right there.
Okay.
We can't go past that range of motion, right? Assuming we already applied the heat, right? We got more blood flowing there, more oxygen, water, and nutrients. So then what I do is I start, of course, you're lying down on a table, right? And what I do is I start just moving it just a little bit, and I don't go past the yellow. But then I do something.
Okay, what do you do?
I stretch it out, and I let the arm relax, and I go, and I pull on the shoulder. Okay, on the shoulder joint like this.
And if I were laying down, I wouldn't be moving so much
exactly,
because my weight would keep
right?
me there.
So then that's going to loosen up all the tendons, ligaments, and muscles, and that's going to allow for a further range of motion. Okay, we're there. We got about a degree or two, just a little bit more. So then what I do is I like to push the joint in and rotate it. And that breaks up a little bit of the scar tissue that has built up, and it allows it to gain a little bit more mobility. So once I'm doing that, I'm done with doing that, I'm able to go and just stretch it a little bit more, and it stretches a little bit more until after about an hour and a half of therapy, in most cases, I'm able to get about 160 and sometimes even 180 degrees in just one therapy. But usually it takes about 2 or 3 therapies to solve this issue.
And so presumably people can do this at home, working on one another.
Yes.
Listen, I hope you found some very practical information on today's edition of New Start at Home. If you want more information, simply go to newstartclub.com.
Modern views of evolution stem all the way back to theories developed in the mid-1800s. Out of the same time period came ideas that shape our educational system today. The Common School movement, for example, saw schools more like a factory with students blindly memorizing instruction rather than thinking for themselves. Their curriculum was rigid and theoretical. Instead of being flexible and practical, it was designed to conform the individual into a specific ideological mold that fit the needs of an old industrial era long since past. Just like our view of creation in 6 literal days, we believe the Bible contains an educational blueprint radically different from the one we see now.
Well, friends, that's it for today. Pick up the phone and give us a call at 800-525-9192, and may the Lord richly bless you this day.